Well, they say the third time's the charm. So for the first time since tuning has been released, which was back on July 9th, 5 weeks ago, we're gonna try and put the tune in test and tune. Now that we've got a tune on our 2024 Steeda Silver Bullet. Shift points have been optimized, we're making more power, it's tuned on the 85. The only problem, it's nasty. DA is 3,319 feet right now. So we're gonna head on up to South Georgia Motorsports Park and see how fast we can go. So we finally made it inside the track. Looks like we're gonna have a good night of racing. And we had mentioned in our previous video, we're between gear changes with the 373 and the 409, and how are we gonna manage that with the 409 and only a 28-inch tall tire? So then we got to thinking, let's throw on the old steamrollers from the 2018 Silver Bullet, the 315 Mickey Thompsons, which are actually 29.4 inches tall. Then told Lund, lock out 6th gear, don't let it shift to 7th. So we should be able to cross the traps. We're thinking 8,200, 8,400 RPMs, which would be awesome. Leave it in 6th gear, so hopefully that helps, and the shift points allow us to go faster. We have dropped down to about 2,900 feet DA, but let's see what happens. So 158 short time, which is pretty good. So I think it's been a 156 is our best short time. So 158 first pass. These tires are, like I said, 5 years old. So it shifted each gear, went through 6th. RPMs looked like it was only like 70, I don't know, 7,800, which seemed a little low, but maybe my math was wrong, but we'll see. Hopefully it went solidly in the 10s. Is it gonna be the 10.60? Doubtful. But DA, my phone went flying somewhere. DA was 3,200 feet before the pass, so we'll check the DA as soon as we get back. We'll jot it down and see what this this new tuned Mustang can do coming down the track. Hello, ladies. Woo, thank you. $10.78, but Lund 131.99 for the mile an hour, and we're over 3,000 feet for the DA, and I still can't find my phone. Hey, I'll take a 78 at 3,000 feet and a $132, call it. Car had only been a 129 prior, and that was a negative DA. So clearly, like we've been saying all the time, tuning with the A10s, you might not make a ton of power, but it's the shift points that's going to make the biggest difference. And we got the other camera pointing at the dash, so that'll tell us a little bit more information, but really cool stuff. That time those lanes were no time, so I'm not really sure what we did, No 60 foot. It felt good. We had 2 pounds of air to the back tires. Hang on. Let me stop this data log. So we added 2 more pounds to the back tires. Like we said, they're like 5 years old. They're from the old NA car, the Silver Bullet 2018. And they've been deep into the 8s with the blower on it. So started off a little low. When we got done with the first pass, they were at 20 PSI. Usually we like to run 21. Bump them up to 22. Put the fronts at 55. And try to get on the foot brake much harder on that pass. It seemed like that happened. And I hope this guy isn't on fire up ahead of us. There's smoke coming out of the car. Yeah, that just exhaust smoke. It left nice, but we'll see. Like I said, I was happy with the 1078. I said I think it's gonna go with 76 before we left the shop. But the 3 mile an hour, that shows you that Lund is definitely making more power. I mean, the change in elevation is like 3,500 feet. And for it to go 3 mile an hour faster, that's insane. So making the power, it's obviously shifting much better. I can't wait to go back and look. We've been data logging, see exactly where it's been shifting, but we'll see. Maybe we went a little bit faster. We got rain coming in now, so I think we're just 2 passes and done. So, but it's great. We haven't been out here in a while, and now that we got tuning available, the scramble's on, right? A lot of us have been to the 10s already. Now the race to the 9s is on, so let's go.
The number? 2024.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, an 81. Frank called it. He said an 81. How does it go in 81? 159, so it was a little slower to 60. We added air to the tires. That sometimes happens. And I got no mile an hour. 1081. We don't know what the mile an hour was, but I'm sure it was right around the same. We can look at the GoPro, see what RPM it crossed the stripes in on the second pass versus the first pass. But hey, came out, made some passes in a tuned S650, something we have been waiting for almost 2 years. So feels good, and we're gonna load this up and call it a night. And it's definitely heat soaked. We're 208 degrees cylinder head temps, 222 engine oil temps. Man, it's like we're on a road course or something. How the heck did we get up to 222? So you saw me complaining about the heat. Not only the heat outside, which we can't control, but how hot these cars get. And you're seeing it online from the tuners. Lund explaining how the car progressively loses more power the hotter it gets. Well, that's something we're gonna work on. It's something we did back in the 2018 Silver Bullet, and you know what? If you go back, it's basically stuff we used to do back in the Fox body days. We're gonna try to cool the car in between rounds. So we'll get to the track, we'll warm it up, we'll make it pass. But as you saw in the video, even though we're only running a 1/4 mile, it's still 212 degrees by the end of that 1/4 mile pass. But we gotta get it back down in temperature. So we're going to do a couple tricks. One of them is drilling holes in the thermostat. What that allows you to do is flow water through the thermostat when it's still technically closed. Now you could go to a lower degree thermostat, but for a drag car, we need to be able to circulate water through there whenever we want. The other thing is how are we going to circulate the water? The factory water pump is a mechanical water pump. Therefore, it's driven by the belt and the car needs to be running, but that's generating heat. So we're gonna reach out to our friends over at CSR and get one of their universal remote mounted water pumps, similar to what we did on the 2018. This is an electrical water pump that allows us to circulate water through the coolant system and through that thermostat with the car off. So this will allow us to cool it to 130 degrees in between those 1/4 mile passes. Usually takes about 6 to 8 minutes to get that engine temp down. Then we fire it up, we head to the staging lanes. We're typically at about 160. We want to be making passes between 165 and 170 degrees. That's going to give us optimal temperatures for making the most horsepower. So anytime you go above that, you're gonna start losing a little bit of horsepower. Like I said, we can't fight the summer heat, but we can do some tricks to try to keep this thing cool, because at this point, it's all about data. We can't get enough data. Lund wants more data from the quarter-mile log, so we'll be going out, hopefully the first 2 weeks of September, to make some more hits with the new cooling system mods, and let's see if we can get this thing back into the 1060s. So follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and remember, Steeda, where speed matters.